Next, let's work on the first round of the Easter egg basket crochet kit. We'll start by completing the first round of the magic ring. Just like before, hold the yarn tail with your right hand and wrap it once around your left pinky. Now, pass the yarn through the space between your left index and middle fingers and pull the yarn back through from behind your index finger. Pinch the yarn with your left thumb, middle finger, and ring finger. Now, wrap the yarn from behind your middle and ring fingers to the front. Pinch the yarn where the two strands cross with your left thumb. This is how we set up our magic ring. We'll now insert the hook into the loop created by your left hand. Bring the hook from underneath the yarn, catch the yarn from the back, and then pull the hooked yarn through the loop between your thumb and index finger. Now, let's begin working the foundation chain stitch. Bring the hook through the yarn from underneath, and catch the yarn from the back, pull it through the loop on the hook. This completes the first stitch. From the side, you should see a clear V shape. Next, we repeat the same process. Yarn over, hook the yarn, and pull it through the loop on the hook. That completes the second stitch. You should now see two V-shaped stitches side by side. Let's add another stitch. After completing the stitch, you should have 3 V-shaped stitches. These 3 V's are helpful for setting up the height of your work. Now let's begin working the first double crochet stitch. Start by bringing your hook under the yarn to the back, yarn over. At this point, there will be 2 loops on your hook. Now, pass your hook through the loop between your left thumb and index finger, yarn over, and pull the yarn through the hook. You'll now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops. And yarn over again to pull through the remaining 2 loops. That's your first double crochet stitch complete. Now, take a stitch marker to mark the first stitch for easy reference as we continue. Be sure to place the marker through an entire stitch. After that, adjust the stitch, and we're ready to crochet the second double crochet stitch. To crochet the second double crochet stitch, repeat the same steps. Start by yarn over, insert the hook through the yarn loop, bring it through, ensuring there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over one more time, and pull through the last 2 loops. That's your second double crochet stitch completed. In the first round, we need to complete 12 double crochet stitches. Let's quickly finish the remaining stitches. Great! We've completed the last double crochet stitch of this round. Now, remove your hook and count your stitches. If everything was done correctly, you should have 12 V-shapes in total. Now, gently pull the tail of the yarn to tighten the loop, making the circle more even. Once that's done, remove the stitch marker and insert your hook through the stitch where the marker was placed. Adjust the tension of the loops on your hook as needed. Then yarn over, pull through all loops on the hook in one go. And there we go! We've finished the last slip stitch of this round. Make sure to pull the slip stitch tight to ensure the finished product looks neat and tidy. And that's the completion of the first round of double crochet in the magic ring. Now, let's begin with the second round. First, we need to work 3 chain stitches as the foundation for the standing stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop through the yarn on your hook, completing the first chain stitch. Repeat this step 2 more times to complete the 3 foundation chain stitches. Next, we will start the first double crochet stitch of this round, which will be worked into the stitch where we placed the stitch marker in the previous round. Carefully locate this stitch and prepare to begin. Yarn over, then insert your hook into the stitch you identified earlier. Bring your hook from underneath the yarn, catch the yarn from the back, and pull it through the stitch. Now yarn over again, pulling the yarn through the first 2 loops on your hook, and yarn over once more to pull the yarn through the remaining 2 loops. This completes the first double crochet stitch of this round. Now, take your stitch marker and place it into the V shape formed by the double crochet stitch you just completed. Since this round involves an increase of double crochet stitches, we need to work a second double crochet stitch into the same stitch where we just worked the first one. This means you'll be completing 2 double crochet stitches into the same stitch. Alright, let's quickly work the second double crochet into the same stitch. And there you have it. Our first double crochet increase is complete. A double crochet increase creates 2 V-shaped stitches. Let's continue. In the next stitch on the left, we'll work another double crochet increase. First, complete the first double crochet stitch, and then, in the same stitch, work a second double crochet. Now, we've completed the second double crochet increase. For this round, we need to complete 12 sets of double crochet increases. Let's move on and finish the remaining stitches one by one. Alright, now we've finished the last double crochet increase of this round. Let's count the stitches. We should have 24 stitches in total for this round. If the stitch count doesn't match, the easiest solution is to rip back and try again. Here, we need to pay attention. Although we've finished the last double crochet increase, there are a few stitches between us and the stitch marker. There is a small stitch from the previous round slip stitch, and 3 from the chain stitches we worked at the beginning of this round, which we do not need to crochet into. Next, we'll simply remove the stitch marker. Insert the hook through the stitch where the marker was placed, yarn over, and pull through the stitch and the loops on the hook to complete the slip stitch. As always, tighten the yarn and make any necessary adjustments to ensure your work looks neat. With that, the second round is complete. Let's begin the third round of our crochet project. First, we will chain 3 stitches to form the starting chain. Yarn over, pull up a loop through the yarn on your hook, completing the first chain stitch. Then, we repeat this for the remaining 2 chain stitches, finishing the 3 chain starting stitch. In this round, we'll be alternating between a double crochet and a double crochet increase. Now, let's work the first double crochet of this round. Find the stitch marker's position, yarn over first, and insert the hook into that stitch. Yarn over, pull through the stitch, and yarn over again to pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over one more time and pull through the remaining 2 loops to complete the double crochet. Mark the completed V-stitch with a stitch marker. Next, we'll work our first double crochet increase. To do this, we'll go to the stitch to the immediate left of the first double crochet. Here, we'll complete a regular double crochet first. Yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over again, pull through the stitch, yarn over once more, and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again and pull through the remaining 2 loops to complete the first double crochet. Since we are doing a double crochet increase, we will work one more double crochet in the same stitch. This completes our first double crochet increase. We'll continue by repeating this process. Move to the next stitch, yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over again, pull through the stitch, yarn over once more, and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again and pull through the remaining 2 loops to complete the first double crochet. Move the next stitch, yarn over first, and insert the hook into that stitch. Yarn over, pull through the stitch, and yarn over again to pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over one more time and pull through the remaining 2 loops to complete the first double crochet. We will work 2 double crochet in the same stitch. Do it one more time. We've completed a double crochet increase. At this point, we've completed 2 sets of a double crochet followed by a double crochet increase. We need to complete 12 sets in total, so let's continue working through the remaining stitches. After finishing this round, we should have 36 stitches in total. Once we're done, count the stitches to make sure we have the correct number. If everything checks out, we can remove the stitch marker and proceed with the final slip stitch. Insert the hook into the stitch where the stitch marker was placed, yarn over, and pull through both loops on the hook to complete the slip stitch. After the slip stitch, tighten the loop, and our third round is complete. Let's begin the fourth round of crocheting. For this round, we will crochet in the pattern of 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet increase, and then another double crochet, repeating this sequence for a total of 12 times. Start by chaining 3 to form the turning chain. After completing the third chain, we'll begin the first double crochet of this round. Locate the stitch where you placed the stitch marker in the previous round. Yarn over with your hook, then insert the hook into the stitch, bringing the hook under the yarn and catching the yarn from behind. Pull the yarn through the stitch, so that you now have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over once more and pull through the remaining 2 loops, completing your first double crochet of this round. Take your stitch marker and place it in the V-shaped stitch that has just been created. Next, we will crochet the second stitch of this sequence, which is in double crochet increase. Move to the stitch to the left of the previous one and begin by completing a double crochet, just like we did before. Yarn over, insert the hook through the stitch, yarn over again and pull through the stitch, then yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, followed by pulling through the remaining 2 loops. Now, in the same stitch, we're going to crochet another double crochet, completing the double crochet increase. So we've finished our double crochet increase. Next, we move to the next stitch on the left. This stitch will be a double crochet. Yarn over, insert the hook through the stitch, yarn over, and pull through the stitch. Yarn over again and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, then yarn over one more time and pull through the remaining 2 loops. With this, we've completed the first group of 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet increase, and 1 double crochet. Now, continue to repeat this sequence for the remaining 11 groups. Once you've finished crocheting all 12 groups, you'll have a total of 48 stitches in this round. Take a moment to check the stitch count. If everything looks correct, remove the stitch marker. Now, we'll finish off the round with a slip stitch. Insert your hook into the first stitch of the round, yarn over, and pull through all loops on the hook in one smooth motion. And with that, your fourth round is complete. Let's begin the fifth round of crocheting. In this round, we will crochet 3 double crochets, followed by a double crochet increase. We will repeat this sequence a total of 12 times. Start by chaining 3 to form the turning chain. Now, let's begin the first double crochet of this round. Locate the first stitch. Yarn over, then insert your hook into the stitch. Pull the yarn through, yarn over again and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, then yarn over once more and pull through the remaining 2 loops. This completes the first double crochet of this round. Next, take your stitch marker and place it in the V-shaped stitch that was just created. Now, move on to the next stitch and crochet the second double crochet in the same way. Move on to the next stitch and crochet the third double crochet. Now, you've completed the 3 double crochets. Okay, let's move to the next stitch to begin the double crochet increase. In this stitch, crochet 1 double crochet. Once you've completed the first double crochet, make another double crochet into the same stitch. This completes the double crochet increase. At this point, we've completed 1 full group of 3 double crochets, 1 double increase. Now, continue to repeat this sequence for the remaining 11 groups. When we reach the last double crochet of the round, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over again, and pull through to have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over once more and pull through the first 2 loops, then pause before completing the last pull through. This round is a bit different from the previous ones, as we will be changing colors at the end of this round. Now, set down the current yarn and pick up your new yarn, which will be white. Prepare the white yarn by holding it in your left hand. Take your hook, still holding the piece you've been working on, and position the white yarn at the back. For the final stitch of the round, yarn over with the white yarn and pull it through the 2 remaining loops on your hook. This will complete the last double crochet of the round and mark the color change. You have now successfully changed colors while finishing the round. After finishing all 12 groups, you should have a total of 60 stitches in this round. Now, we'll finish off the round with a slip stitch. Insert your hook into the stitch where the stitch marker is. Remove the stick marker. Yarn over with the white yarn and pull through both loops on the hook to complete the slip stitch. Pull the yarn tight to secure the work, and with that, your 5th round is complete. After successfully changing the yarn, we can now cut the green yarn using scissors. Leave a short tail so we can weave it in later during the stitching process. Now, let's begin round 6 by chaining 3 as a turning chain. For this round, we will be working 3 double crochets into the same stitch, then skipping 2 stitches before repeating the pattern. Since the chain 3 turning chain counts as a double crochet, we only need to add 2 more double crochets into the same stitch below it. Yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, and place both the white and green yarn tails over the hook. Hold them firmly so they get worked into the stitches. Yarn over again and pull up a loop. Yarn over once more, pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, then yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops. This completes 1 double crochet. We can place a stitch mark at the gap between turning chain and first double crochet. Now, let's quickly work another double crochet into the same stitch. With that, we've completed a group of 3 double crochets in 1 stitch. Next, skip 2 stitches, and in the 3rd stitch, work another set of 3 double crochets. Yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, and complete a double crochet. Then, in the same stitch, work 2 more double crochets. That completes the 2nd group. Continue the pattern by skipping 2 stitches and working 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Repeat this process working 3 double crochets in 1 stitch, skipping 2 stitches, then working another set of 3 until reaching the final group. When we reach the last set of 3 double crochets, finish the first 2 stitches as usual. For the 3rd double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, and yarn over to pull through the first 2 loops. At this point, do not complete the double crochet, as we are preparing for a color change in the next round. Now, take the yellow yarn and hold it with your left hand. With the right hand, use the hook to yarn over with the yellow yarn and pull it through the remaining 2 white loops on the hook. This completes the color change for this round. Gently pull the yellow yarn tail to secure it and adjust the tension. Next, locate the stitch marker. Insert the hook into the large gap to the left of the turning chain, and remove it. Yarn over, and pull through both the stitch and the loop on the hook to slip stitch and join the round. This completes round 6. Now let's begin round 7. Start by making 3 chain stitches for the turning chain. In this round, we will introduce a new stitch, the bobble stitch. You can pull the turning chain slightly to the right. This time, we won't be working directly into the stitches. Instead, we will be working into the large gap between the 2 sets of double crochets from the previous round. Start by yarn over and inserting the hook into the large gap. Yarn over and pull up a loop. You can pull the loop a bit longer because the bobble stitch needs to have some curve. Now yarn over again, insert your hook into the same large gap, yarn over, and pull up another loop. Yarn over once more, insert your hook into the same gap, yarn over, and pull up a loop. By now, you should have a total of 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 7 loops on your hook. Then, chain 1 to complete your first bobble stitch. Now, repeat the process and work another bobble stitch into the same large gap. Yarn over, insert your hook into the gap, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same gap, yarn over, and pull up another loop. Yarn over once again, insert your hook into the same gap, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook, then chain 1 to complete your second bobble stitch. Place a stitch marker in the first chain of the turning chain from the previous round to keep track of your starting point. Now, yarn over, skip to stitches, and in the third stitch on the left side, we will work 2 bobble stitches in the large gap underneath that stitch. This can also be thought of as adding 1 bobble stitch increase. Insert your hook into the large gap, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Yarn over, insert your hook again into the gap, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Yarn over once more, insert your hook into the same gap, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through all the loops. Then chain 1 to complete the first bobble stitch. Now, repeat the same steps to work a second bobble stitch into the same large gap. Once both bobble stitches are completed, this finishes the second set of bobble stitch increases. We will crochet a total of 20 groups of bobble stitch increases for this round. Let's continue and complete the remaining stitches. Remember, after finishing each bobble stitch, make a chain stitch. After completing each bobble stitch increase, skip to stitches, and start the next group in the large gap under the third stitch. Once we finish the last bobble stitch, do not make the chain stitch yet. Here, we need to switch to white yarn. To change colors, yarn over with the white yarn and pull it through the yellow loop on the hook. This completes the color change. Next, remove the stitch marker, insert the hook into the designated stitch, and make a slip stitch to join. At this point, we can handle any excess yarn tails. Trim the tail from the previous round after weaving it in, and leave a short tail of the yellow yarn after the color change before cutting off the excess. With that, we have completed round 7. Let's start round 8. To begin, take both the yellow and white yarn tails and position them over the stitches we will be working into. Hold them in place with your left hand so they can be woven in as we go. Start by making 3 chain stitches to serve as a turning chain. This counts as the first double crochet. Now, yarn over and insert the hook into the large gap below the turning chain. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over again and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, then yarn over once more and pull through the remaining 2 loops. This completes 1 double crochet. Using the same method, make another double crochet into the same gap. With that, we have completed a set of 3 double crochets in the same stitch space. Adjust the stitches slightly by hand if needed, then place a stitch marker in the gap to the left of the turning chain for reference. Next, skip 3 stitches and locate the large gap under the 4th stitch. We will crochet another set of 3 double crochets. Yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, then yarn over again and pull through the remaining 2 loops. This completes the first double crochet. Repeat the process to make the second and third double crochets in the same space. That's our second group of 3 double crochets completed. Continue this pattern, making groups of 3 double crochets into each large gap while skipping 3 stitches between groups. In total, we will crochet 20 groups of 3 double crochets. Keep going until you reach the final stitch of the round. When working the last double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. At this point, pause. We need to switch back to yellow yarn. Yarn over with the yellow yarn and pull it through the remaining 2 white loops on the hook. This completes both the last double crochet and the color change in one step. Finally, return to the marked stitch at the beginning of the round. Insert the hook, remove the stitch marker, and make a slip stitch to join. With that, round 8 is complete and you can cut the white yarn. For round 9 and round 10, we will repeat the same crochet techniques as in round 7 and round 8. In round 9, we will crochet 20 sets of yellow bobble stitch increases, leaving 2 stitches between each set. In round 10, we will crochet a group of 3 white double crochet stitches. A total of 20 groups will be made, with 3 stitches skipped between each group. Similarly, for round 11 and round 12, we will continue repeating the same steps as in round 7 and round 8. In round 11, we will crochet 20 sets of yellow bobble stitch increases, leaving 2 stitches between each set. In round 12, we will crochet a group of 3 white double crochet stitches. A total of 20 groups will be made, with 3 stitches skipped between each group. We are now at the final double crochet of round 12. When we have completed half of the stitch, keeping 2 loops on the hook, we will begin a color change. Take the green cotton yarn and yarn over, pulling it through both loops on the hook in one motion to complete the color change. Gently pull the white yarn to tighten the stitch slightly. Next, locate the stitch marker, insert the hook into the marked stitch, remove the stitch marker, and make a slip stitch to join. Take scissors and cut the white yarn to fasten off. This completes round 12. Round 13 will be worked entirely in single crochet, placing 1 stitch into each stitch across. As before, bring both the white and green yarn tails across the stitches so they can be worked over and secured later. Since we are working in single crochet, we only need to chain 1 as a turning chain. This does not count as a stitch. Locate the first stitch below the chain. Insert the hook into the stitch, making sure to keep the yarn tails on top of the stitch to secure them. Yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over again and pull through both loops on the hook to complete a single crochet. Place a stitch marker in this first stitch to mark the beginning of the round. Continue crocheting 1 single crochet into each stitch. Unlike previous rounds, these single crochet stitches are not worked into the spaces between stitches but directly into the top of each stitch. Find the next stitch, insert the hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Yarn over again and pull through both loops to complete the single crochet. Continue in this manner, working a total of 60 single crochet stitches in this round. When the final single crochet is complete, locate the first stitch with the stitch marker, remove the marker, insert the hook into that stitch, and make a slip stitch to join. This completes round 13. Round 14 will be identical to round 13, with 60 single crochet stitches in total. Begin with a chain 1 as the turning chain, then continue crocheting 1 single crochet into each stitch. Place a stitch mark at the first stitch. When the final stitch is complete, find the marked first stitch, remove the stitch marker, insert the hook into that stitch, and make a slip stitch to join. This completes round 14. Let's begin round 15. In this round, we will be working in reverse single crochet. Start by chaining 1 as a turning chain. In the previous 2 rounds, we worked our single crochet stitches from right to left. However, for this round, we will be crocheting in the opposite direction, from left to right. Locate the first stitch immediately to the right of the turning chain. Insert the hook into this stitch, angling the hook downward. Yarn over and pull up a loop through the stitch. There will be 2 loops on the hook. Then, yarn over again and pull through both loops on the hook to complete the first reverse single crochet. You may place a stitch marker in this first stitch to keep track of the beginning of the round. Now, locate the next stitch to the right. Insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Yarn over again and pull through both loops on the hook to complete the second reverse single crochet. Continue in this manner, working 1 reverse single crochet into each stitch around. You will make a total of 60 reverse single crochet stitches in this round. When you reach the final stitch, complete the last reverse single crochet. Then, locate the first reverse single crochet of the round, remove the stitch marker. Insert the hook into that stitch, and make a slip stitch to join. Once the slip stitch is made, take scissors and cut the green yarn to fasten off. Now that the basket is complete, we can take care of the loose yarn tails inside. First, trim any excess yarn tails. For the final round's green yarn tail, thread it onto a tapestry needle. Weave it into the stitches along the inside edge of the basket. Insert the needle through the stitches along the edge for about 4 to 5 stitches. Then trim any remaining excess yarn. If you haven't already trimmed the green yarn from the base of the basket, you can also weave it along the edge in the same way, securing it with 3 to 4 stitches before cutting the excess. With that, your crochet basket is finished.